My uncle was getting frustrated because he couldn't find the plastic bottle of chocolate syrup in our refrigerator. So, he asked my mom where it was, and she replied that it was behind the milk. My uncle said that it wasn't behind the milk, because he had just checked there. He got more frustrated when he took the milk out of the fridge again and didn't see the syrup at this point. My mom noticed that the syrup was stuck to the back of the milk carton. She let him give up before she told him. So, now, whenever someone can't find something, we ask, "Did you check the back of the milk?" My family was out of town for a week, so I made a large crock pot of beans with ham chunks, something my mom cooked when I was a child. I kept them on simmer for 3 days and ate nothing else. I played video games and ate beans for 72 hours. Life was great. Those beans tasted frickin' amazing. But by the night of day 3, my body felt like it was being taken over by the devil himself. I got the sweats. I spent so much time on the toilet that I feel like I owed it rent. My ass hurt and swelled up so bad I was sitting on ice cubes trying to find relief. Objects and odors were exuding from my backside I didn't know existed, nor would I wish on my worst enemy. I'm drinking lots of water, trying every on-hand medication I could find, and even experimenting with some wild homeopathic solutions, all to no avail. Upon entering in my symptoms, Google suggested I go see a doctor. This is Saturday late afternoon, so my only option was either the emergency room or one of those instant care clinics, which was about a 90-minute wait. I couldn't do it. So, emergency room it was. The doctor in the ER that night looked to be about 28 and was very attractive. After explaining my predicament, I was soon ass up face down on an exam table so that she and the nurse could get a look. As she's poking around back there at my swollen mass, she commented on how she had never seen anything like it. I suddenly felt a very familiar rumble, like the ones I had experienced many times in the previous 24 hours. And before I could even react, burning hot brown water shot out of my exhausted and sore butthole. The doctor got hit slightly before moving out of the way, and the rest landed on the table and floor. Fortunately, it didn't stink too bad, since it was pretty much just water going straight through and cleansing me at that point. But I was still utterly mortified. After getting cleaned up by a male orderly, I was given some meds, which helped tremendously with the physical pain, and sent on my way with a prescription for more. Far worse than the physical pain was the emotional damage, which inflicted a much higher cost than the $300 copay I was on the hook for. My dad used to work as a counselor at a summer camp. All the counselors but him were let go, so he became the manager. One of the kids he worked with had Down syndrome. Dad had a lot of fun helping this kid that year. So fast forward about 15 years, and my dad sees this kid at some sort of event. He's a lot older, obviously, but they do recognize each other. So, Dad approaches, "Hey Jeremy, remember me? I was your counselor at that summer camp 15 years ago." "Yeah, that was a long time ago, man." "Get over it," Jeremy replied. Dad had to contain his laughter. He tells this story a lot. It's a bit funny. He got straight up dissed like that. Many of you are familiar with the sugar-free gummy bear effect. Well, the other day, I learned of the white chocolate effect. Quick science lesson. White chocolate includes an emulsifier called lecithin. In high doses, this can cause major diarrhea. So, on the day in question, I was on my lunch break and decided to treat myself to some white chocolate. I hadn't had some in a while, so off I trot to the break room to munch away on some. I eat about 70% of the bag before I decide that I've had enough. Then the cramping starts. It was a dull ache at first, nothing huge, probably gas. Then I pass the warning fart, which is the fart that means the next one will be accompanied with a friend. So, I run. Well, more speed shuffle, like I'm doing while typing this. I get to the women's room and there's a queue, as effing always when I desperately need the toilet. I manage to get into a stall with mere seconds to spare and rip my pants and underwear down and unleash hell. Luckily, whoever had used it before me didn't flush, so there was toilet paper there to mask the sounds. Well, all the sounds that weren't me sobbing. I clean up and get back to work and finish out my day, which leads us to now. Me speed shuffling home as the second wave threatens to crash down like the aftershock of a tsunami.
In high school, me and my mates were stood in a circle just talking, waiting for the teacher to turn up to let us inside. This was after lunch break, when hundreds of seagulls flocked to the playgrounds to scavenge for food. One of those seagulls craps on my mate's face, this particular mate being quite hard, or as you Yanks call it, a bit of a jock. He gets angry and shouts, "All right! Who effing spat on me? You're effing dead!" We were on the floor laughing, and the look on his face changing when he realized it wasn't spit, but in fact, bird shite. He actually said, "It's not spit, is it?" with a grin on his face. I still crack up now thinking about it.